Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited to bring you this video where I have done plenty of modifications to my two Art the Clown figures made by Trick or Treat Studios. I got both of these because I wanted to have a clean version of art and a very bloody version of art. I got both of them from madabout-horror.co.uk. They ship worldwide. They got these figures to be so fast I couldn't believe it. And check out the review that I did on Art the Clown here when he was a stock figure. It's about 45 minutes long, but it's one of the most fun reviews I've ever done and one of the most anticipated figures I've ever had coming to me. I just couldn't wait to get Art the Clown in the collection. I'm a big horror fan, and he, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the new icons of horror, and he's absolutely essential to have in the collection. So what we're going to do now is cut to some footage of me working on these two pieces, and then we'll come back and we'll get a real nice close-up look at both of them in all their glory. So don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon next to the subscription button, that way you'll get email notifications every time I upload a new video. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333 for plenty of pictures and clips. And don't forget you can get this figure right now from madabout-horror.co.uk. That's where I got mine. Incredible service, arrives so fast. It's an amazing company run by real horror fans and they're just amazing people. So I highly recommend you get Art the Clown from Mad About Horror. Alright, check out the footage of me working on these pieces and then we'll come back. We'll get a look at all the goodies, do some cool poses and have some fun with Art the Clown here. Enjoy. Alright, so just a little behind the scenes stuff here. So as you know, I am gonna have a clean Art the Clown and a bloody Art the Clown. That's why I got two of the Tots figures. And these are the hands, the stock hands that I'm gonna leave bloody. But this head sculpt, I've removed or painted over the blood that was on this head. I've also painted his whole face again, and it contrasts nicely now with the wrap around his head. But now there's no blood anywhere on this Art the Clown head sculpt, so he's completely clean. And I am also had to repaint every one of the hands on one of the figures, because obviously for the clean Art the Clown I want him to have clean hands too. I want him to be completely fresh. Still got to do paint on these. I'm literally doing it right now. So repainting these hands, and yeah, so that's the other Art the Clown, the stock head sculpt with the blood on it. So you can see the difference. Obviously I think it does help painting the skin again with a nice matte white finish. Obviously the stock one there looks awesome, but I do like the contrast now between the face and the wrap around the head, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I've repainted this one completely clean. I'm gonna leave these four hands for the bloody version, and got four clean hands which I'm working on right now. Oh, and also he didn't come with a hand to hold onto a knife or a hammer or a hatchet or a gun, so I've also got these hands here that I had spare, and I've painted them. I've sprayed like a matte finish on at the moment. Come on, focus. But yeah, just it's a bit crude, but just wanted to have a gun holding hand. And obviously the varnish is still very wet. That's the stuff I'm using. And yeah, so I'll have a gun holding hand, and that's the knife holding hand or the hammer holding hand or whatever you want to put in there. I actually super glued the thumb to that finger because it was separate, but I wanted the grip to be more tight for one of my Shadow Furgo knives, so I've super glued the thumb to the finger to get a tighter grip. It's a bit crude at the moment. I have to add the lines to make it look like a glove, and I'm going to do a little black wash over those as well. So he will have hands now that hold on to knives, hammers, guns, and yeah, so that's what's up. Ooh, hello. Yeah, gonna seal these, do a bit of a black wash I think over the fingertips as well to bring out the fingernails a little bit more, but that's worked out really nice. Got some clean Art the Clown hands. Excellent. I do love this repaint. Seems to make him look more real. Like the skin tones come out more. It's got a real kind of rough texture to it. Alright, so I'm doing my black wash on the hands now. It's brought out the fingernails more and just makes the gloves look a little bit more HD. Still clean, but not pristine clean. I mean, because he's still, you know, he puts on his makeup with his hands pretty much, I guess. Well, he uses pads or whatever, but he probably would have some black on his fingertips, so I might add that as well. But the black wash is working really nicely. Looks really good. Little Ruby on the travels. She's had her Christmas turkey. Yeah, look at that. That's turned out great. So you got contrast here between the stock and the clean that I've done. So that's really nice. Very cool. So I'm really excited to see how both of these guys look when they're finished. One completely pristine, clean Art the Clown, and another one completely drenched in blood. Well, not completely drenched in blood, but very bloody. Anyway, back to it. Right, well, I've just gone ahead and repainted this head as well, because even though this will be the bloody version, it's still going to look better with this painted face now. The more stark white face will contrast better with the blood. I've left the hat and the wraparound section completely stock paint, but the face, the skin at least, has been repainted. So that's pretty much everything done apart from the blood. That's the fun part. Right, so I mentioned before that I've been using some double-sided tape around underneath the collar to keep it down flat, and I'm doing that to this one as well. Even though this one stayed down pretty good by itself, I'm still going to put some at the back there, as you can just see a bit of, and then I'll just put this under here, get it right in the crevice. There we go. Now that collar will stay flush and flat. And I've also got an idea about getting the suit to fall more naturally. I'm thinking about putting some weights into the leg sections here to kind of pull it down a bit, but I'll let you know about that. I haven't really put much thought into it yet, but I'm thinking some kind of weighing it down system thing. But yeah, that's the collars done. It's just double-sided tape like that, see? All nice and flush, both of them. Also ordered 2 new bodies off eBay, 2 different 1/6 scale bodies. One I think is made by Dragon, and the other one a little bit more expensive, can't remember the name, bunch of numbers and letters. I'll let you know more about that when the time comes, but they're going to take a while to arrive anyway. And some new stands, just plain stands like this, because I was running out. You don't need to know that, but yeah. Alright, so there's the 2 repainted heads. And still got a bit of work to do here, but here's the clean ones. There's the original bloody ones. The gun holding hand will be a bloody hand when that dries, so that should be over there really. And then the knife holding hand, or hammer holding hand, or hatchet, whatever. Got lots of weapons that I can hold. I've even got a screwdriver in 1/6 scale. Art the Clown can probably have that too. And some nunchucks. Alright, so I'm starting the blood effect now, and I'm starting with the material that goes around his head, because I noticed that the material absorbs the blood, and there's different tones, lighter reds, darker reds. And then obviously I'm going to use the fake blood that I use for the skin, but for the clothing I'm going with a different technique, because it would be different than how it would rest on the skin. So you've got stains, little specks, but this is just Revel paint with some black that I'm using. And then I'll use the EBA blood for his face and for parts of this, but first you want to get the blood that's been sitting in this mask for a good couple of hours while he's been doing his thing in that first film. So this should be a really nice realistic look once it's all finished. But I've still got work to do on this. A long way to go. It's starting to come along pretty nice. Little contrast between the RBA, what's it called? EBA, that's it. EBA blood and the drier blood on the mask. Alright, it's coming along pretty good. The red is not coming across as deep, vibrant red as it is in real life. Samsung Galaxy here doing its thing, making it look kind of orange. That's weird. But yes. Yes, sir. Looking pretty sweet. And I got it to look like there's kind of blood dripping off the... there's a technique to it, I'm trying to get it right. But I can go crazy with this hacksaw because this is for the bloody version, so it doesn't really matter. I even bloodied up his wrist pegs because sometimes you see them, so might as well bloody up those as well. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that footage, and here we are with the clean version. We'll get to the bloody guy in a minute. But I just put the glasses on just for a laugh, just to start off the video, but we'll take them off now. They're just some spare, I think they're actually NECA 1/6 scale Terminator 2 Arnold Schwarzenegger glasses. But they're pretty nifty, so you look quite funny with those on. But he's completely clean, and as you saw in the clips I just showed you, the stock figure was pretty clean as far as the outfit goes, but the head sculpt did have some blood here and there. I have completely repainted the face and gotten rid of the blood that was on sections of his mask, so he's completely clean. And as you saw earlier, I've also completely repainted his gloves and fingertips as well for a very clean look there. So a completely clean, very fresh kind of pizzeria scene Art the Clown, complete with his black bin liner, which I made out of a real one and just, you know, filled it with a little bit of I think it's, what did I put in here? I put in bubble wrap, that's it, just a little bit, just to kind of fill it up a little bit. But because of the really good double bend in his elbow, you probably would be able to pose this kind of over his shoulder, like when he walks into the pizzeria scene in the first Terrifier movie. So that's a nice little accessory I made for him. And because I've got two figures, I have two hacksaws. This one is completely clean. Obviously it came very rusted and weathered, but no blood on there. And then the other one that this one's holding is way more bloody. And here you can see the clean scalpel holding hand. You know, I did a black wash to make them a little bit, you know, nasty looking, because even though he hasn't got any blood on him yet, he's still kind of a filthy dude. And then the other hand here, that's for holding onto the hacksaw again. That's all clean. And yeah, I went for kind of a pose with him, just the hands on the hips, kind of playful before he unleashes hell on his victims. He's quite, you know, playful with his prey. So I kind of positioned his feet in that kind of clown kind of position, kind of sticking out like this. Put the legs close together. And yeah, man, he's looking up, looking pretty happy. And then over here, we have the bloody version, which you know, I've got him holding a Michael Myers mask just for fun, and because of the events of the first movie, and I'm pretty sure even though we haven't seen the second one yet, I think that takes place on October 31st as well, so I got a pumpkin to put with him too. He's got a skull. Now not all of these would work too well with art, but I just decided to gather all the weapons that I had, and over here, as you saw earlier, I did make another sort of gloved gun holding hand, because he doesn't come with a gun holding hand, so I had to kind of make one. Now this is the most movie accurate gun to the one he uses in the movie that I have in my collection. Now obviously in the film, if you pay attention, the grip here is brown, and this is the Nightmare Batman by Hot Toys gun. So everything else is pretty accurate apart from the grip. Now I have contemplated painting this brown, but I'm not too sure if I'm going to go all out and do that just yet. I might just try and find one on eBay. But that hand holds onto the gun really well, so it's nice to have that for that scene in the film. I also made him a knife holding hand, or a hammer holding hand, and glued the thumb to the finger to get a nice tight grip, and just made it look like a glove, and bloodied it up and made it look all nasty. This knife kind of reminds me of that scene in the film where he is well, I think he has a couple of knives in the movie, but there is one particular scene where he's kind of just stalking about and he's holding a knife like this and it's all bloody. So that's what I've gone with there, and used the EBA blood to make the scalpel on this version a lot more bloody. And we have a screwdriver, we have a meat cleaver, 2 meat cleavers. One of them is from the 3-0 Leatherface, and then this one was custom made by I think James Hodds. James Hodds. It's been a while since I spoke to James, but he made that weapon. We've got, I think this came with 3-0 Leatherface as well, but that's very clean. I'd be tempted to bloody that up a little bit. And we've got some other little kitchen knives. This is a Trick or Treat Studios Myers knife. Did some blood on that. And also this came with 3-0 Leatherface as well. And then we got a custom axe that I got on eBay some time ago for my Rob Zombie Halloween 2 Dream Sequence Myers figure. And we got another axe here, which I probably wouldn't use, to be honest, but I just thought I'd put it on the desk anyway, just to show it. So yeah, Art the Clown has plenty of weapons. We've even got this kind of black dagger, so it's kind of nice. Then another Trick or Treat Studios Myers knife as well. You can never have enough knives. And the skull is from a Vampirella 1/6 scale figure by Firesin. Oh, and on the base we have a Shadow Fergo hammer, a real metal and wood hammer in 1/6 scale. So that's everything that I've put with my bloody version of Art. Plus he's holding on to the bloody hacksaw, which is very bloody compared to the clean one over here. But overall, they both make for an amazing display, and I cannot wait to bring you a video where I put him finally on the shelf with the rest of the horror icons. Now I'm going to have to take everything off the shelf up there and rearrange it all from scratch, because there are 2 Art the Clowns that have to go up there. I don't know if I'll put them side by side. Maybe I'll have them bookending each end of the shelf, but we'll see. That will be a video coming up on the channel soon, so make sure you stick around for that one. But this has been such a fun project to do and so satisfying. I mean, honestly, the bloody version is just terrifying to look at. And it's funny, I showed this figure when I'd finished it to someone who'd never seen the film, and I just said to them, what do you think of this? And they literally, the first thing they said was, that looks terrifying. I said, well, as it happens, the film is called Terrifier. So, you know, it's funny. But yeah, very, very, very proud of this one. And this one too. It's been, you know, an absolute passion project. Alright, so we have a clean version of Art the Clown on a rotating base, and I'll just let you see him come around here. He's waving hello, and he's carrying his big bag of God knows what, probably weapons. I know it's weapons, but you know, maybe he has something else in there. Maybe he's got body parts, who knows. But that looks fantastic. That's what I always kind of envisioned for a clean Art the Clown. I wanted him to be holding onto the bag. That iconic scene in the pizzeria is one of them ones, I think, like I mentioned in the review, I think that was the scene I randomly stumbled upon on YouTube, and then I just had to watch the movie. Once I saw that scene with him sitting across from the 2 girls doing his Art the Clown thing, I just had to see the film. And a horror icon for me was born. And now here we are a couple of years later, and I have a 1/6 scale figure. Pretty much perfectly captures the character in his clean state. But we have the bag over the shoulder. Now I just cut, you know, a section of the bin liner, the black bag, and then I got a black twisty tie and just tied it around the end of it, and put a little bit of bubble wrap in there to fill it out some. but he looks absolutely amazing like this, and he just complements the extreme version so well. So let me know what you think of the clean version of art, folks. I'm very proud of this one. Alright, now we will get the bloody version on the rotating base. Alright, so on to the bloody version, and I've done the stab wound on his back, but I haven't put a hole in the material yet. I was debating that. I probably will do that and go the whole hog and even do blood and wound underneath the material so that it has that nice three-dimensional effect. But I've been proud of some mods that I've done in the past. I've done quite a few now, all the years I've been doing this on YouTube, and there's been some really fun mods that I was very satisfied with the results, but this is probably number one now. I can't believe it. Look how nasty and real the blood looks, and obviously because of the red blood contrasting so nicely off the white face and the white outfit, it's just incredible. Now, I did use the EBA bright blood, but not just that. I used, as you've seen in the clips of me doing this, I noticed the blood, the way it soaks into this wrap around his head. It's completely different look to how it looks when it's on his face. So I took a little bit of time doing research on that, and I noticed in the movie his white sleeve up to a point is very drenched in blood, and this front section here very, very bloody. You've got some darker, some kind of black washed kind of blood areas as well. Very bloody hands. And let's just take a look at the base he's standing on here. He did put plenty of blood on there as well. He got blood on his clown shoes, and it will always look wet and fresh. That's the great thing about the EBA blood. It will always look like fresh blood, and that just looks super real and creepy. I've just got the skull covering where the stand goes into, because he stands up pretty well on his own now. If you saw the review, which you definitely should watch, the only thing that was bugging me slightly with these amazing new bodies that they're using was the legs were a bit floppy where the leg connects onto the torso. So I just stuffed some blue tack in the joint where the leg is, and that stops him from wobbling. So he stands up on his own perfectly now. They have ordered 2 new 1/6 scale bodies, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to do some experiments with those. But the body they've given you is perfect. I mean, it's the right kind of, slender look, for Art the Clown. So they gave you butterfly joints this time, double bend in the elbows, really good articulation all the way around. But I will keep you updated on how things go with the new bodies that I've ordered. Look how nasty that looks on the side of the face. I am so happy with this. He looks absolutely real and terrifying. Just brutal. And the hacksaw is covered in blood as well. Look at that, it looks wet. Look at that, that is so gnarly, so satisfying. Now I know some of you out there are going to do the same thing. You're going to go for a bloody Art the Clown look. And once again, I stress, you've got to use something like EBA blood and get it on eBay. If I hadn't have discovered the EBA blood thing, then I would have probably tried to do this with just acrylic paints or model kit paints or something and tried to make it work. But it will never look as good as when you use EBA. Although someone did mention there is another type of blood that you can use that's also very good. I don't have that one. So all I can really suggest is the EBA blood, because that's what I use now, and the results are obviously highly satisfactory. Let's just let him come around one more time here. Take a close up look at this face. Man, that is insane. Look at the dry blood on the mask around the face, the way it's kind of soaked into the white material. Just insane. Let it come around one more time. Look at that. Absolute savagery. Man, I am a happy camper. Art the Clown is here. Yes, sir. Okay, so we have the bloody hacksaw, which is really gnarly looking. I did try to get that effect. Someone mentioned in the comments on one of my other videos recently that they kind of found a way to kind of like you drag on the EBA blood and you kind of blow on it, I guess. Well, they didn't say blow on it, but I was doing that and trying to get it to dry as I'm pulling it away so I get like this stringy blood effect. And it did work, but as time went on, I guess it just kind of retracted back into itself. So it's not really, but the blood does look very convincing and quite thick and nasty, like little chunks of flesh and stuff. Now, there are ways that you could give that kind of chunky flesh on the blade look. Maybe just with a little bit of blue tack, or maybe even a bit of cotton wool or tissue or something, and then put the EBA blood over the top of it, and when it dries it will just look like chunky flesh. So there are options there. Just doesn't that just look, you know, horrific? He's so bloody, you know, because in the first movie, by the time the third act sort of coming around, he does look very, very bloody. So that's how that looks. But yeah, the hacksaw looks very, very nasty and very, you know, satisfactory. Look at him. Amazing. Alright, now moving on to the gun. And that looks absolutely insane. Gonna take some real cool pictures of this. Put them on Instagram. Now, like I mentioned, the gun is almost movie accurate. It is, once again, the Nightmare Batman from Hot Toys gun. I think maybe that silver bit there where the bullet flies or the shell flies out is meant to be black, just like the rest of the gun. The most obvious non-movie accurate section would be the grip. It looks to be a brown grip in the movie, so maybe I will paint that, but that would certainly devalue my Nightmare Batman figure a little bit, but I don't really see myself getting rid of him anytime soon, so maybe I'll just keep looking on eBay until I find a gun with the right color grip on the handle. But it's excellent. I mean, don't forget I had to make a hand, or, you know, repaint and make it look like it was a gloved hand for him to hold onto the gun, because he didn't come with one. But that's worked out absolutely fantastic. I was not expecting Art the Clown to pull out a gun when I watched the movie for the first time. It was a surprise, but a good surprise. I think I heard some people were pissed off that he used a gun, but I like it. He's got no rules, you know? Screw it. If I need to use my gun, I'll use my gun. That's how it is. Okay, so let's move on to another weapon accessory. But that does look fantastic, and it worked out great. Alright, now, one of the most important ones for me was to get a hand that would hold on to a kitchen knife, because there is one particular moment where he's stalking Tara around the abandoned factory, warehouse, whatever it's called, and he's doing this. It's quite a close-up shot. He's kind of like this pose, and he's got a very evil look in his face, and his kind of eyes are going from side to side, and he's holding the knife kind of like that, and the other hand's kind of like this. And if you know the film, you know what I'm talking about. That was one of the moments I really wanted to be able to recreate as best I could. And this knife worked out really good for that. I believe this knife is a real metal knife. It's not a custom one. It came with the 3-0 Halloween Part 6 Michael Myers figure. I did bloody it up and do a nice kind of blood effect on it. I didn't use EBA blood on this one. I kind of like the way this one turned out, so I just left it alone. But now he has a hand for holding onto the knife, and that can also hold onto a hammer. And with the blood effect, it just looks very intimidating and scary. So we have Art the Clown holding onto the kitchen knife, stalking Tara. And it looks fantastic. So many options for display with all these accessories that have accumulated. I mean, even without a weapon in his hands, just him standing there, that's presence enough. But I think we can all agree that looks really good. But let me know what you think in the comments, folks. Always love to hear from you. Amazing collecting community, especially the horror guys. I mean, I don't just love horror. I like superhero stuff, action movies, sci-fi, all that good stuff. Comedies. Got Peter Sellers over there from Pink Panther, representing my comedy love. But yes, horror would be my main passion when it comes to collectibles these days. Now, just for the purposes of having some fun, I want to try one of the Sideshow Freddy gloves on Art the Clown. But the wrist peg that comes with the Trick or Treat figure has a very kind of thick and stumpy bit that goes into the arm there. So just so this doesn't keep falling out, I'm just going to stick some white tack around it, wedge it in just for the purposes of taking some footage for you and doing some pictures for Instagram. That shouldn't be a problem. It's just a makeshift quick way of getting this done. So let's do that. Alright, so yeah, that worked just fine. For the sake of just taking some pictures and having some fun, that looks awesome. See, I don't know, it's just fun. He's like the kind of Deadpool of the horror world. I've got some other little bits and pieces here from other horror characters that I'll show you him holding or using in a minute. But yeah, the Freddy glove was an idea I just had. I was really looking forward to putting a spare fedora hat on him, but then I realised, of course, you can't put that on because the hat is attached here. Otherwise, you could put the Freddy hat on, go for the full effect, but that's still pretty cool. So, Art the Clown with a Freddy glove. Man, the possibilities are endless, really. You do all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah, just one more little pose of him holding up the glove there, just for fun. I think it looks pretty cool. Alright, so now we got a little puzzle box action. He's stolen the puzzle box and Hellraiser will be after him. He's got the lament configuration. So in the hands of Art the Clown, who knows how that will work out, you know. Could be disastrous, could be a whole lot of fun. Who knows? That's the cool thing about him, you know, like I was saying about him kind of being the Deadpool of the horror world. I don't know, I think he kind of works as far as taking other characters' accessories or, you know, kind of jumping into their scenes and kind of saying hi. Not that he would say hi, just kind of wave at you. Big smile on his face. Big bloody smile. And put some blood on the teeth on this version as well, because he does, well, he's quite partial to the taste of human flesh, it would seem. But there you go. There he is holding on to the puzzle box. Alright, so I've got that knife holding hand that I made for him, and as you can see it holds on to a Shadow Furgo real metal and wood hammer perfectly. He does use a hammer on the pest control guy in the stairway scene, so that looks pretty accurate. Let's get him holding on to this. Okay, and as you can see he looks absolutely fantastic holding on to that too. So basically anything I put in his hands and any pose you put him in, he always looks amazing, and that could be massively factored in, you know, with the blood effect that I've done. You know, the clean version is spectacular also, but just something about the blood, man, it really just elevates it. It really does. And there you go. Alright guys, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun to do these mods, a lot of fun to review this figure, and just it's been an absolute blast. And I will do more Art the Clown videos very soon, including a video I can't wait to do where I put him on the shelf with the rest of the horror characters up there and we see how he looks in the lineup of everyone else. I hope you've enjoyed it. Drop a like on it if you did, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at dnight333, and don't forget to pick this guy up from madabouthorror.co.uk. They ship worldwide and they're absolutely awesome. Get this figure, it's absolutely essential. See you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.